Hi everybody, happy Monday. Today we are talking about what to do if you have a fearful dog who is reluctant to go out, to go potty or whatever, or once they're out, they might be reluctant to come inside. So some ways to cope with this issue, which I know a lot of you have who have sensitive dogs. All right, let's jump into the slides. Coming out and going in, troubleshooting for fearful dogs. So why are we talking about this? The problem is your dog is afraid to go out to go potty, and or once outside, your dog is scared to come back in. So what can we do about this? Option one is to just avoid the problem entirely by having an indoor toilet area for your dog. In this photo here on the slide, there's Pancake early on when he was still too afraid to go outside by himself. And you can see he has a little turf square and also potty pads in his sort of safe zone, his pen. I know a lot of people don't love the idea of having a dog who goes to the bathroom indoors, but it can be the kindest thing for your dog until they're ready to go out on their own. Option number two is something more halfway. Can we get the dog to go outside just a little bit, like to a balcony or onto a covered porch? And then can you set up a little toilet area there? For some dogs, that's easier. It's less intimidating, in both directions, both going out and coming back in. A client, Gary, who you see pictured here, his mom and dad were kind enough to share a photo of his little outdoor potty area. They live in an urban area. They have a couple balconies attached to their condo, and here is one of them. And you can see he has a couple turf squares there, and that's what he uses for the most part instead of going out of the building. A third option is the backyard, but like a subsection of the backyard. Some way to scale down the yard, and of course this only applies to you if you have a backyard, but something that scales down that space to make it more manageable for fearful dogs. In this photo, this isn't really what I'm talking about because this pen that Pancake is in there is not attached to a door, like a back door from the house. But I wanted to show it because that's about the size that I might start with for a really fearful dog, like a really small pen. You want the pen ideally to sort of stop at the door so that if you say were to open the door and leave it open, they could go out and go into the pen directly, and there's nowhere else they could go. This can be especially helpful for dogs that will go out into the yard, but then they might get kind of scared or overwhelmed and end up sort of trapped on the far side of the yard and afraid to cross the open space to come back in. A lot of our fearful pups are afraid of big open spaces sometimes, so this is a way to shrink that down. And this is another example. This is much bigger. You do not have to make it this big, and I probably wouldn't initially. But this is back at our other house. There is a sliding glass door out of the house into this penned area, which is just the side yard. We just used an X pen, and that's what Pancake used for a long time at this house. All right, so 3 options to try. If your dog won't go out or only goes out hesitantly or goes out but won't come in. Indoor toilet area, that solves both problems. They don't have to go out or come back in. Something that's kind of outside but not quite. I guess it is technically outside, but not all the way out into an open space like the yard, a balcony or a porch, especially a covered porch a lot of dogs have a better time with. Or the yard, but a much reduced area, a sort of small fenced area. All right, everybody, I hope that was helpful. If you are looking for more confidence building tips for your fearful dog, sign up to receive our newsletter and you'll get links to these weekly videos delivered right to your inbox. That's dogkindtraining.com/newsletter. You'll also get alerted to any new offerings, services, webinars, special prices on things. So we would love to have you on our list. All right, everybody, have a great week, and I will see you next week.